tens for Daniel Negreanu. Wow, what's that, 4x raise?
More than.
Hey, ready? Holy misclicks.
The small baller accidentally decided to play with a bigger ball. Yep.
Eric Seidel with pocket kings will 3-bet to 210,000.
Gotta wonder if Daniel might think Eric's 3-betting because Daniel had that little freak out.
Come on.
Whoops.
Ay-ya.
I call.
Seidel obviously calls.
A misclick got me.
Oh, sick. Sick. That's kind of sick if you see with sense too.
I know, right? Then I had to then it forced me to
Wow.
get a little crazier.
Yeah, because
Really surprised to see the shove there. Daniel almost always just calls in spots like that.
you're gonna hit a 10.
So, that'd be good.
Seidel is the player at risk, but Negreanu is a huge underdog here. Even bigger dog now.
Really bad flop for Daniel. Can't even hit any running cards to save himself. He's still got the same 2 outs he started with, just 3 less chances to hit one.
Now just 1 chance. Just 5%.
Sometimes that shove will make Daniel look like a genius. This time, not so much.
Seidel set for the double up. A 10 on the river!
You were right. Thanks, Tobias. I run good. I got him covered.
Gross.
Negreanu on the button has 10-9 of diamonds.
Negreanu's loving life right now on the button with this hand. He's really thinking about it. He's confused with this 5x open out of Shlomi.
But he makes the call. Both blinds will fold, so 3 players will see a flop. No 6 for Boniardi, but a 9 high flop could get Daniel in trouble here.
Daniel looked a big speculative pre-flop, and now he's picked up top pair. He might get in trouble.
Shlomi continues. He's made it 15-25. It's a pot-sized bet.
No slow playing for Shlomi. 5x pre-flop, pot on the flop. Daniel's still not convinced. He wants to call.
But should he call?
Daniel has a tough time folding pairs, and this is top pair. He should probably fold, but I don't see it happening.
He does make the call.
A big pot is brewing.
No real threat out there to Shlomi's kings.
Shlomi can't be too concerned about this turn card.
21-25.
This time he decides to make it a little bit cheaper for Negreanu. He went full pot on the flop, right around half pot on the turn.
Surely this is where Daniel lets it go.
Daniel is trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And he makes the call. He's not entirely convinced yet. Again, this river really doesn't change much. The only hand this helps is 6-7 or 8-9. And Shlomi only fires out a 3rd pot on this river. He gives Negreanu a fair price to make this call. He's getting 4-1 on his money.
Well, let's see if Daniel can get away from this.
Raise.
Daniel is determined Angel Small River Bet is a value hand that Kid Poker can't beat. Although it's hard for him to rep a hand, he's bumping it up.
Aces or kings? Can I say that, or is that illegal? Heads up. I can say what he has, but not what I have. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking aces or kings.
You think right.
Daniel really pulled the trigger correctly on that one.
And Shlomi's now thinking, if you've read me for aces or kings, surely you can beat aces or kings. I have to fold.
If I show one, do I have to show all? No. Okay. Okay. I can show one? I can show one if I want to? I don't feel like it. Never mind. I don't have a good one to show.
Thousands of dollars thanks to the perfect river card.
Daniel raises to 3,000.
Okay, rally's gone.
Yeah, you thought if you could have a rush that, you know.
Action folds over to Tony G, who makes the call.
2 strong hands going into the flop.
Queen 6 Jack.
King of the world.
Check by Tony G.
Tony G's missed. Daniel's going to fire with top two.
Bets 5,500.
Tony's looking to make a call here. Tony has 2 overcards, even though they're no good. He's really only looking for a 10 to make a gut shot.
There it is.
Faster you can say Andrew Lloyd Webber. Tony checks his Broadway. He's got the stone nuts right now.
Daniel bets 14 grand. A raise to 50,000 by Tony G.
A quick raise of 50,000. Tony's the kind of player that could be doing this with a worst 2 pair. He could be doing it with a draw. He could be doing it with flat out nothing, but a raise that big, that fast, usually means only one of 2 things, a monster hand or a monster bluff.
Daniel makes the call.
Tony using his hand to keep his mouth closed because it's probably watering right now.
The river gives Daniel a full house.
Now, even though Daniel knows he has the best hand, he's still trying to put Tony on a hand.
Tony checks.
By determining Tony's hand, he can judge how big a bet Tony will be willing to call here on the river. Daniel wants to make Tony G the honorary mayor of Valuetown.
Bet 80.
Negreanu makes it 80,000 to go. Snap call from Tony.
Negreanu shows him the bad news, hands him the keys of the city.
You had ace king.
Yep. Well done, Daniel. Well done. Thank you.
And he just calls, he doesn't raise.
Daniel wants to play in position, but also keep the pot small and avoid getting 3-bet.
Kachalov will make the call from the small blind. Shulman can see a free flop if he so wishes. And he will check from the big blind.
King 9 suited is a hand that Eugene may have 3-bet with had Daniel raised.
Queen 4-4. No one really catches anything. Negreanu's ace high still good. Kachalov checks.
Shulman's likely to end up playing the board.
He checks as well. Action's on Daniel. And he checks as well.
Still keeping the pot small.
Turn card for free then. It gives both Shulman and Negreanu straight draws, plus Shulman has a flush draw.
A bad flush draw.
It's not going to stop him betting though.
A bet on the flop may have been enough to take this down, but this board is full of draws at this point, including Daniel's gut shot.
So he'll call that bet of 75,000. Kachalov gets out of the way with his King 9.
It's a pretty interesting call from Daniel. Not sure if he's got some sort of read or what.
Well, the 8 sees both players brick on the river. Shulman representing with a bet of 155,000.
It's his only shot at winning this hand. Nick straight bluffing with the second nut low. Daniel only has a bad ace, yet it looks like he's contemplating this call, which would be pretty insane. Then again, it's also insane to try to bluff Daniel on TV.
He's made the call.
Daniel makes more calls than a telemarketer, but in this case, he looks like a genius.
Ace high's good.
Nice call.
Sick call.
And in fewer than 50 hands, Shulman has gone from the chip leader.
There has been a raise already.
How about a re-raise to 3,600?
Forget the loose cannon. Daniel's now trying to isolate Phil Hellmuth.
Doyle pocket jacks.
Don't think he was counting on Doyle waking up with such a big hand.
Who lost the last pot?
Doyle would typically be the one to 3-bet in this spot with 2 jacks, but since Daniel did it for him, he just calls.
That gets Phil Locke and Tony G out of the hand, and now action back on Hellmuth. Makes the call.
Daniel's repping a big hand before the flop. Let's see if Doyle coming along for the ride causes him to change his game plan at all.
So 3 players to the flop. 5-7 queen. It misses everyone. Hellmuth checks.
That's right, so that means Doyle's still in the lead with 2 jacks.
Negreanu checks.
Now you expect Daniel to try to continue his pre-flop ruse, but I think Doyle's presence in the hand has thrown him off a bit.
It checked around. A 4 of spades on the turn. No help to anyone.
Daniel has picked up a draw now. He has an up and down straight draw.
Phil Hellmuth chips in hand.
Finally feels like it's safe to maybe take a stab here.
Bet 7,000.
Well, Phil doesn't have anything. He's now leading out into a guy who 3-bet and another guy who called a 3-bet. So this bluff from Hellmuth actually carries a lot of weight. It's not just a snap call for Daniel with an open-ended straight draw.
Daniel does make the call.
Now, with Daniel and Phil raising and re-raising and betting into each other, it's going to be very tough for Doyle to know he has the best hand.
Gets rid of the best hand. So it's Daniel and Hellmuth off to the river, which is a deuce of spades. Daniel hits bottom pair.
Not only bottom pair for the board, bottom pair for the entire deck. Hellmuth has nothing, but he can still maybe win this pot with the right size bet.
Didn't Daniel say bluffs are good for the game a little earlier?
Only if you show him.
6,000.
Bet of 6,000 by Phil Hellmuth.
This is a very small bet compared to the size of the rest of the pot. It's also smaller than the bet he just made on the turn. Let's see if Daniel can figure it out.
Just don't reach for a bunch of those great chips.
Why? You might just shove it on me.
Phil insinuating he'll make a snap call. That orange chip is 25K. A lot of power in that little stack.
Negreanu makes it 46,000.
Daniel's correctly read Phil is weak and stuck in a huge bet with only a pair of deuces.
Speech time. It's gotta come.
He might have like 6-9 offsuit. It's Daniel. Good bet.
And Phil lays it down.
Finally got there. Took a while, but I had you.
He nailed it. Look at that.